here in Panama. It's a January 20th. January 20th is 4 a.m. All right, 4:04, 120. And I've got a banger for us this morning. Okay, we're gonna go over current events. Gutfield this morning comes on Fox already, and man, do they release their program early? You've never seen discipline like this, by the way. And I don't like a cocky person. I'm not trying to be a super cocky person, but we're going to talk about some super cocky people. And sometimes it can be fun to be a little bit super cocky, you know, just for fun, right? But what we're going to talk about today, Gutfield comes on and he says this whole piece on Fox, like, listen, it has to be okay to give credit where it's due. If a woman is a dirtbag, she's a dirtbag, and you have to be able to call her that. We haven't been able to call her that. And he makes a great example. He says, you know, if a man is dressed like crap or whatever, he's a bum. If a woman, she's going to marry a guy and have money anyways, right? So they're never going to really be a bum, because they're always going to have somewhere to go, likely, right? Unless they touch the black magic, which all psychoschematic road to mastery students should be very cognizant of. As soon as you touch black magic, your integrity is forever damaged. Period. All right? Now, those of you who have already touched black magic, let's just incorporate exactly what Carl Jung's talking about. There's a special calling for you. Look, we're all going to be addicted to something. That's why I get addicted to the gym. That's why I get addicted to heavy, severe discipline far ahead of everybody else. So far that I'm not willing to give it up for something stupid like black magic. All right? We can get addicted to learning. In that respect, you'd have to have open positions. You won't be able to think that you know everything already, which is a modern psychoschematic. It's one of the #1 downloads that the control group would like you to get. And control group in science is a specific group, right? That's usually not under one of these other intentional influences. So you have something to measure against, right? So listen, if the control group is the standard, which it is, and capitalism actually has that written in. Capitalism's actually a temporary system. It's known that the money will eventually accumulate into small hands. Once you've got enough money, it's nuclear. You know what I mean? As Elon Musk, once you've got, what was it, $85 billion or something? Now it's at $685 billion or something. Nick Fuentes, Andrew Tate, this Clavicore, some other guys I haven't even heard about, they're all doing this hanging out, get together thing. Now, anti-narcissism.org, written by the genius Kia Karlberg, it really completely outlines the way narcissists will all eventually work together. Narcissists are not people addicted to the mirror. It doesn't matter what mouth sound some other person made up that we use to try to describe this stuff that does not begin to describe this stuff, okay? But when we use that mouth sound, what we're talking about is someone who does not play by the golden rule, who wants to deceive, who wants to control, all right? And the reverse prototype, okay, is a live and let live person who operates by politeness, respect, honesty, valor, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna mess with you, don't mess with me. I'm not gonna trespass in any way in the world and hit my pillow with fatigue and honor, knowing that I did everything I could do, that I did as much good as I could do, and that I told as much truth as I could tell. right? If you want maximum impact and credibility, you come with clean hands. So some of these guys I'm going to talk about right here, they have raised to the top for this huge controversy that they spill everywhere on purpose, right? And I understand how you do that. I understand why when Candace Owen locks onto a truth, but it's a controversial truth, and she just goes for the kill because she's got two benefits. I'm being a truth teller here. Yes, I'm getting ratings, but number one, I'm being a true, and she keeps that priority right. I can see it. And then when you see all these deceptive personality types go after her with vicious lies and labels, that's the tools of the wicked, lies and labels, all right? When she goes after her with lies and labels, when everyone, and they avoid the information that she's actually putting out, right? Which should be thoroughly dissected by everyone. But if you can be easily distracted by a devil, demon, deceptive, dramatic force, you should have got stronger. That's why we're here. That's why I'm your fellow study partner. I'm not your coach. I'm not your guru. I'm not charging anybody. I won't be. You know, I'm doing this for volunteer. I'm doing this to get my wings in stage 2. I'm doing this because when you teach, you'll get better. You know what I mean? And no, I am your fellow journeyman. By all means, by no means am I a master at this, but I really want to do a concentrated effort to become one, or to become close to one, and definitely to just make improvements, because your navigational computer, your ability to identify behavior patterns when everybody else is blind, oh man, that's a lightsaber in this world, man. That's real Jedi ability. Seriously, like, you are a fool not to get it. I tell people, how are you not using this modern gym that all these fitness people have come up with that really produces great results, and paying so much attention to this news and this money, which are constructs of men that have so many questionable results so many times. Yeah, there's lots of good there. There's many good civil servants that are authentic and genuine and fight for us. But the majority of this is what we're talking about, these control freak people, right? And now the control freak people get days. The freedom people like Martin Luther King, it's Martin Luther King Day today, right? The Martin, when he gets assassinated, that shit doesn't even get investigated. When JFK gets assassinated, it turns out to be the control freaks, and they had a big cover up, and weak minds just accepted the bullshit story back then. So, and the strong minds were hated on by the weak minds that really wanted to just be strong, all the way up to really wanted to enforce the deception, right? So, being that listen, I like these guys. I'm not against anyone, and I don't agree with everything from anyone. I'm not a robot. I might like guys, I might support guys, but I want to say a disclaimer. There's none of them that I agree with completely. And being that these guys went after controversy and went off the masses and did it beautifully in the tape thing. I mean, the real world, I'm in the real world. I'm a council member now. I've been here in there since the beginning. I got a link for my kid to check it out to see if it would be something cool for my kiddo, and I stayed in there. It is the #1 education platform I've ever seen, and I've learned a ton from that thing. Now I'm a council member of that thing, and I'm not leaving it. I've been a solid member since they started, and because I really, dude, I do not, like I said, I don't want you to like me fully. I don't want you to be a robot. I want you to be free. I am a live and let live person. And that's what I will be supporting. I will be respecting you. I will be polite to you. I will be enhancing your freedom and your strength and your conscious expansion. I will be trying to enhance those things, or I will be doing nothing. You will be invisible to me. I know exactly what Chris Langan, the cat with the IQ of 200, who wrote A Theory of Everything, a TOE, and if you read this thing, that's what I see. What he wrote is exactly what I see. You know what I mean? After years in nature and learning Rudolf Steiner biodynamic farming, after years in nature, I had this really, really dynamic, interesting experience where I was like, oh, wow, you know what? So, listen, learning biodynamic agriculture sped me up light years. But what's interesting about it is because I learned it from the book before I saw it in nature. I and then time went on. Listen, the relationship with nature is indescribable by any language if you stay there for long enough. I went to nature and lived by myself for 7 years. I had such an insane neurological condition that was literally brought on by a witchcraft, right? Like, I thought I was bulletproof. I thought I could remember, metaphorically speaking, had run through so many brick walls and had so many divine interventions that when my mind cracked, it was a real thing to deal with. It was a real reality check. Like, whoa. The way that the lengths that the person went to and the innocent life that they abused to effect that mind crack on me. And that's exactly what their intention was. That's exactly what they did. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they didn't care because this is one of these narcissist people, right? So, there is a deceptive being that does not play by the golden rule, that thinks she's better for it. I can promise all of you right now, no one is better for anything like that. You will reap what you sow. I have had a very dynamic experience which caused me to go study nonstop in an obsession dynamic experience. The title of this program, of the gut filled program, is it's time for internet moms to be called out, or something like, right? I'll put a link to the thing in the below after the live goes. And the person who affected the mind crack on me also, and this is how you can recognize when there's parental alienation. Again, a mouth sound that doesn't begin to describe kidnapping and brainwashing by the kid's own mother, all right, for money, power, control, and for the sick desire. It's spiritual molestation daily for the sick desire of hurting their ex, right? And in this case, for rejection. The true honest thing is rejection, but she says she's an abuse victim. This is so common. There's no evidence of that, and it's a total lie. I'm telling you, it's a total lie. She has exaggerated and lied. There is not one truth that has come out about anything that I've done. Every single thing that has come out has been extremely augmented into a complete lie. Mistakes did happen before my kid was born, and she then twisted those and invented another lie, and then used that to destroy the relationship after it was 9-10 years old relationship, 8-9-10 years old relationship. Very tight. My kid couldn't stop saying my daddy this, my daddy that. I don't want to get into this. I get into this almost everything, but this is the basis of this channel. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't to leave conscious expansion for that one person who has Elizabeth Smart syndrome so bad she can't even hear anything I have to say. She is the Catch Me Outside girl combined with, and I'm sorry to say this, but hard truth is, it is what it is. We must give credit where it's due. You must call it like you see it, or you're not helping the person. You cannot live a lie. You cannot live a lie. And all these other people who are pointing fingers at these other, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, all this stuff, their bank accounts have corruptly grown off the backs of all of us. And now it's Kamala Harris is getting a day. That was another thing. They've made a Kamala. Listen, I'm not going to get into politics. I'm not a political commentarist, but I do identify shady corrupt. I don't, because they're all shady to me. They're all shady to me. But clearly, if your job has been a civil servant the whole time, we should know exactly how much money that you've had. If you've got these crazy stock trades when you're doing legislature, like Nancy Pelosi, right, who points the finger at everyone, and then in this gut-filled episode, they show her that she just showed up to something drunk. These people are laughing to the bank, man. It's that old thing, right? They are dominating, deceiving, dramatic, and they point the finger at all the valiant people to take the attention off of them, and they're liars. And they think that all the shady shit that they do, they can justify it. This is why personal inventory is so important. You have to really take yourself to the mirror, and you gotta completely, I'm telling you what it is right here. This is the diamond. If you don't commit yourself to God, truth, goodness, and doing the right things, and not being a lazy, right? And thanking the Lord for real for the body that you have, and garden and grow and tend to nature, right? And be a shining example so bright that it changes the lives of everybody who freaking hears about you. Because if you're really going to follow Jesus or whatever prophet, then that's what you would completely do, right? And you wouldn't judge. In fact, it's the lowly people that are going to hear you, not these spoiled people that did all this shady shit. They're not listening to anyone. The only thing that they deserve and that will change them and will make them better people is real consequences, credit where it's due. So, okay, listen. So now what's happening by all these liars and confused people that want outside validation, they want to be a part of this cool club, and they dye their hair, and they do all these things that they see other people do, the nose rings, all the stuff, my friend calls it poison dart frog stuff. You're looking for attention and toxic on the inside, and they go hand in hand. All right. For me, I have trained myself, the true Jedi training. I love to be alone now. I'm not really interested in hanging out with no bullshit people, having any bullshit conversations. When I could be with this demon slayer, with my cool dog, with the select very few, that's the reality for me and you, super intelligent friends around and community members, and I'll travel miles, and I'll spend tons of time. I will pour my effort into that endeavor because I understand nuclear power generation. I understand biopower generation. In fact, I even have a thing published on Amazon about it right now. I'll put a link. It's a beginning work. It's an abstract. Fake, cool people would totally criticize it. Real, intelligent people will say, oh, you know what? I can see that there is something here. It needs some work. And that's my problem, man. I'm always taking on such big issues that it's not a problem, actually. It's hard to pull off, though, right? I'm always taking on such big endeavors, that they require teams. And then I end up learning all these different skills. But we'll see. Time tells all truths, doesn't it? So now I'm at the bottom, guys. I have a small little arsenal of vehicles and other toys, and maybe I have a few little properties, because you can actually get land out here for $6 a meter. I could construct this place that I live in right here for $3,500, and it's all right. And I'm out in nature, and I'm at peace, and it's why I got everything I need. So, that finally. A few years back, I was pushing it out in the jungle, man. And I still had the same attitude. But slowly but surely, as I don't F up, as I don't throw myself away, as I don't spend time with stupid people, Netflix, stupid programming, and I spend time with smart people, smart programming, right? And select programming, right? And study at universities, like I just said, because I don't have stupid judgments about anything. I'm like, let me see what it is. Oh, wow, this is good. I might not agree with everything he says, but this is fucking excellent. The dude's obviously a genius. He's also obviously playing the controversial click thing. And to finish that thought, I'm now realizing, in my path that illuminates as you walk it of internet after pure jungle. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a bank account. All right. I'm starting to see in social media, most of the big people, they're narcissists. You know what I mean? They really care so much about being this big personality. Another great thing about the real world is you can look at an example of how you can really deliver excellent value at low cost to huge amounts of people and make improvements in each one of their lives. That's a big change from his past. Are we really gonna hold people who have on their own changed their trajectory without the dire consequences? Just they've on their own come up. You know, I want to do better for the world, and I think we can do better for ourselves doing that. You don't salute that? You hold his past against him? Like, that shit pisses me off. When I see critics that will just never let a man come up, it's because they will never come up. So other people who have become hated, right, is going to be Candace Owens, Glenn Greenwald, Matt Taibbi, Barry West, Douglas, I don't know half these people are, Tucker Carlson. You know, there's some family. That's another thing. Family court is very rarely mentioned, but 22 million fathers are completely taken out. If you interviewed them, they'd be like, yeah, they kidnapped my kid, fucking harassed me for money, harassed my ex-girlfriend, harassed her new boyfriends, harassed everybody that I know. Psycho harassment, saying on one harassment, he doesn't care about women. To my ex-girlfriend, he doesn't care about women. He just throws them away. He's in Colombia with another one. 4 months later, of course, my girlfriend, just my friend, right? We're friends, not everybody. And so she's just like, yo, you are a psycho bitch. Leave him alone. We all know what you're doing. You fucked that kid over to hurt him. You just want to hurt him. You know, you're just trying to hurt him in every way. Then 4 months later, she contacts her new husband and says they're still together. Listen, if it's a psycho bitch, you gotta be able to call her a psycho bitch. You have to be able to give credit where it's due. That is a witch. Amber Heard, right there in Virginia, would have been burned at the stake just a couple hundred years ago for that amazing, insane manipulation and deception and turning communities against people with lies and all this shit, right? And only because Johnny Depp put out millions of dollars do we know depths like the MMPI-2 test results, depths like the other man who testified, you know, hundreds of people lost their jobs. $300 million was fucking lost from our company and a franchise that was consistent throughout the entire, you know, she fucked over every fucking body. So much fucking black hole disaster. And she's having coffee and tea with all kinds of other psychos around her, you know, immoral and hollow people. And living it up in Spain. And the fucking Johnny Depp didn't even require her to pay the money. He's just like, dude, do you see this bitch? Man. And people really didn't lock in. Look at this amazing artist who makes amazing paintings and music and helps all these people And then after everything she did to him, he didn't even make her pay the money. You don't get more, I mean, damn. You don't fucking get more saint in this devilish world. And I might be making a big mistake in that because I know he's had ill interest or whatever. I don't know these people. I don't know none of this. I'm just outside looking in. But what we can see from the outside is enough. Well, you know what I mean? And God Sod and Sod Guru and Jordan Peterson, whether you like them or not, or Chase Hughes and Maddie from the Anti-Alienation Project, and mental healedness, the bona fide narcissist, the diagnosed, narcissist who makes content saying what it is like that. These people don't want you to win. They hate you. That's why they watch your content and don't like it. There's so many people watching your content and don't like it or comment or engage because they're fake. I go on. I like all my boys and myself comments, and there's a few that do it for me too. But the rest of them, they don't, and I just support, and they never reciprocate what your identity. That's a very easy test right there, and that's the percentages. Most people are narcissists. That's a great way to find out when people are just only in it for themselves. They put on this front. Everybody's putting on a front. I haven't met the criminal yet that comes up and says, "Hey, what's up? My name is. You can't trust me as far as you control your house." Right. So, law and institutions. Let's talk about this real fast. So I went and stayed in nature. That's really I was a military trainer. I had so much charisma. I was a street trainer. I was making soldiers all the time. I was a captain. I really earned. This is true. I'm not trying to talk myself up. Before that, I was a home builder that did a lot of looking out for good people in hard situations. A lot. And those people are still alive. They can tell you. That can be researched. You know, I helped. I made helped some kids make a movie. Philadelphia Homicide City, Money, Murder, and Politics out there in Philadelphia. And I made another pilot at banglandmovie.com about this family court stuff. But at the end of the movie, you'll hear one of the kids helped give his testimony about who I am and who I was in Philly, right? And we really have to fix this. Out in nature is very clear. If women in a natural sense, Candace Owens says this excellently, men in a natural sense want to protect children, innocence, and women. That's what real men, that's what Andrew, that's what all these guys would do, actually, right? Some of their opposition, I'm not so sure, right? A women's natural cognition would be, and that's definitely my cognition. And there's all kinds of kids around here that know they're safer with me, that love me, they know that I genuinely care and look out for them. I'm not a fake person. I would never use them. I would never lie to them. You know, they know that. And definitely nothing beyond that, right? And I will fucking murder anyone who was to do any of those things, to be honest. I would want to. I would maybe go to the jungle for 7 years exactly to not do that. To swallow a stick of dynamite, you know. Anyway, and I probably could pull off everything, and even face surgery and hand surgery and whatever, you know what I mean? Like, just fucking tattoo, fucking all that. Skin fucking replacement. Shit, I know enough fucking guys now in the, human optimization field shit, nutritionaldiversity.com. No, I'm just playing. Okay, so women's natural cognition, and trust me on this, would be to find a good man and be extremely good to him. Because if she didn't do that, she would be effed. Big time. Big F. F and F and F and F and F over and over and over and over. But here we have all this mixing around of the natural order of things. And all of this is creating problems and sickness that we've never seen before. What disease can you catch to go on Dr. Phil and be the catch me outside girl? What disease can you catch to be 50 Cent's oldest son? Like $7,000 ain't enough, and all the way to 26-year-old and fucking moms gassing through all this shit. What society do we have to be to not prosecute that mother when the evidence of child abuse, extreme psychologically abuse with the David Goggins is hero to everybody but not to his own kids. Einstein goes through this. If you don't have haters, you're not a superstar enough. But if you get a hater that's one of these entitled crazy women, and they get a kid to do it, and then they're like, yeah, I got the voodoo doll now. You're mine. That's the way they look at it. Where does that sickness come from? Because it wasn't back in the Lever to Beaver days, or maybe it was. Maybe that's why they were burning the witches in Virginia instead of slapping them on the hand when we just proved you're responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars, people's lives being destroyed all the way down the food chain, losing jobs, losing apartments, losing properties, losing all that shit that took so much effort to build. But your stupid ass is just gonna fuck it all up and then talk about how like you know it all. And you're you know what I mean? And then people like these extremist examples that are perfect to analyze this all, because out of extremity you can get some clarity, right? Out of extreme symptoms you can say, oh wow, that's bad, let's reverse engineer that. How did those symptoms get there? Oh, okay, so that's not good, right? So let's raise our consciousness, guys. Let's raise our intellect. Thank you for not being with me this morning, because if I show up without results, if I do the right thing when no one's watching, if I tell the truth and do what I need to do and give the opportunity to help other people, and it doesn't come, it's almost in one shade a little bit more valiant than, definitely doing it for the recognition left and right and left and right and left and right and left and right and who. However, that said, I'm not blaming these guys, and they really are getting a better message out, and it really is an opportunity for us to build smaller, tighter communities of guys. Links below, epicdawn.org. Do a powwow, all become more disciplined than you've ever seen anybody, right? Get up early, super excellent shape, super excellent diet, super excellent flow state to flow state productivity throughout the day, super brutal honesty in all directions, no stupid bees around, no stupid drama, deception, whirlwind, black hole creators that will, like Amber Heard, that will ruin everything for everybody as long as you allow them to, as long as you enable them by your acceptance. If you accept it, you install it into your life. You are responsible. If you say, I do not accept this, you galvanize your atomic structure as an honest being that does not stand for this bullshit and puts yourself at this polar end of the spectrum. Back to the Carl Jung thing, your taproot goes down as deep as your highest branch can grow. Universal law of polarity has been explained in various ways by various geniuses. Study the greats. It is repetition that builds the muscle. You have to get up and sharpen that blade all day long, every day. And then now, you're a super samurai, Jedi, James Bond, navigational computer on high, cutting through life like nobody's ever seen. And they're like, that's bullshit. He's a trust fund baby or something. There's no way he can move like that and generate all that. So something's going on. He's not just pounding and working hard and having more discipline and generating more energy by checking all the boxes. No, he must be using some kind of steroid. I'm the most all natural dude, and I'll help you become one too. You can come down here and do it personally at Renacimiento Retreat. Link below. I love you. Much love. Let's end this the right way, right? And let's just pray real fast, Dear Lord, I pray humbly and thankfully and gratefully and valiantly and doing my push-ups and getting up and putting my hands on the shovel, not just expecting, right? And I humbly, thankfully ask that anyone who comes across this, everyone in the world, me, myself, please look out for us. We're ready for the conscious upgrade. People who don't know they need it, and people who know they need it. And we know that you're the biggest hand in the whole game. And we humble ourselves before you, hoping to achieve and earn access to the new levels and do the right new things and do them bigger and do them harder and do them more so and be able to resist and deal with the backlash that comes from that. As Albert Einstein teaches us, great spirits will always experience violent opposition from mediocre minds. And we need your help in doing so. And I just want to earn my wings and Lord's in stage 2, Lord, and I'm praying for opportunities to do so. And I'm praying that all these people here can get those too, and we can all rise together towards you. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, guys, let's do this. Wonderful day.